All right. We've got our Monday live Q&A happening right now. Every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, we go live together and I'm here to answer any of your raw food questions, or we can chat about all kinds of stuff. So that's what we're doing today for the next hour. Is if you have any questions, type them in the box. Let's hang out, let's have fun, and let's inspire each other. So yeah, feel free to post in the comments if you have any questions, and we'll get to those. I also have in the comments the link to the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, which is going on right now. And once the bundle is gone, it'll never be the same. This is a very unique bundle because it's completely different from any other bundle. It's all new. All of it's new. I can guarantee you that you don't have anything that's in this bundle because all 55 things are brand new. So for 50 bucks, you get over $3,200 worth of brand new content from your favorite raw foodies. The link in the chat or also in my bio. Your hair, thank you. I've been having a lot of fun curling it. I really do love curling it. This is my natural. All of this is my natural. So my bangs are all my natural color, and I feel like it's gotten lighter since we moved to Vegas because it's out in the sun a lot, so it's gotten a lot lighter. But yeah, maybe one day I might, I've been thinking of getting like a balayage happening or something, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel. What do we have for questions? Again, post in the comments if you have any questions. I live in an Arab country and it's hard for me to eat outside since I'm raw vegan. How do you eat out in restaurants? That's an awesome question. Hello, big hugs. For restaurants, it's tough as a raw foodie because we don't have access to a lot of really awesome raw recipes, and that's a massive reason why we have the bundle, because there's over 1,000 new recipes in there that you can make at home. And Nate and I feel like we just rather eat at home because we can make some awesome stuff and it tastes amazing. We can make massive salads and it's a lot less expensive than going to a restaurant. However, for those who need to be at a restaurant, like say you have a family gathering and you're all going out to a specific restaurant, or you're out with friends and they all want to go out to eat and it's kind of spur of the moment, you want to go with them. You can still do it. You just have to really ask and you shall receive. I've asked at multiple places and people are more than happy to help with your request. So there's only been one place where I was pretty disappointed with what they made, because I asked for a raw salad with all the raw veggies that they could put in there, and all I got was iceberg lettuce and tomatoes, and a couple of red onions. And I didn't have any dressing because they didn't know what to make me, so I asked for avocado and I just mashed that in there. And you're not gonna have the best experience at some places, but there are places that will help you out. And especially if you have the opportunity to call ahead, like get on their website and search and see what they have and then call them, ask to speak with one of the chefs and say, hey, I've got these dietary needs and I was wondering, is it possible for you to maybe turn this salad into a raw salad? Like, are there other ingredients you could put into it? Is there a way you could make the sauce without oil or what have you? Try to work with the chef to be able to have something, and then say, obviously you're gonna pay for it, and make sure that it's big enough because you don't want to be under eating when you're at restaurants, because then everything's going to be like you're gonna have cravings because you're just not eating enough. So that said, I find that asking before you go works really well. Also eating before you go, if you have a chance to, make sure you fill up, have a smoothie, have some fruit, have something before you go to the restaurant, because even if you're at a raw restaurant, like there's a raw restaurant here in Vegas called Veg Nation, and they're awesome. They're a vegan restaurant, everything's vegan in there, but they don't have a lot of raw stuff. They have raw tacos and a salad that you can turn into a raw salad just by taking out some of the cooked items. And then they just put more veggies in it for you. The dressing is raw, but the portion sizes are so tiny. And I'm like, I can't survive on that. So I like to say eat before you go so that you still can enjoy the food without having to buy 4 salads that are all $17 each, right? It can get really expensive. But when you go out to a restaurant spur of the moment, you don't have a chance to call ahead, you didn't bring your own dressing, that kind of thing, my best suggestion is just to ask for a massive plate of all the raw veggies that they have. So like lettuces, tomato, carrots, corn if they have it, peppers, bell peppers, cucumbers. There's so many different vegetables, and they also have sometimes fruit. If there's a bar in the restaurant and they have like fruity drinks or they have desserts with fresh fruit, they can add berries to your salad as well. You could say, could you add some blueberries or raspberries or something sweet to the salad? Maybe they have mangoes. Maybe you could add mangoes or pineapple to your salad too to give it a sweet edge. And as for dressing, the best dressing that I've ever found is kind of a default at restaurants is guacamole or avocado with salsa. So most places have a fresh salsa, a raw salsa that you can add to your avocado or guacamole. When Nate and I were in Mexico, we stayed at a resort, and it wasn't a vegan resort. It wasn't a raw vegan resort. It was just a regular resort. We managed to eat raw for over 10 days at this resort from the buffet. They have sprouts, they had lettuce, they had fruit galore, and we just picked at all the raw stuff. Like there was this one kind of like build your own burger kind of area, and they had containers with cucumbers and other like fresh veggies to put on your salad. So we just go raid that. And we got a lot of raw stuff that most people were like, oh, that's interesting that you would get it from there. But it was like, we just like, were like zone focused, like what's fresh? Let's get everything that's fresh. And we had our plates on our table, and people would walk by and just be like, what? And then we had people stop and be like, where did you get that? And we're like, well, just from the buffet. It's all there. You just have to pick that kind of stuff. So those are a couple suggestions that I have for restaurants, but it's really about being with people and the ambiance and just the environment of going out with people. It can be really fun. So we like to focus on that. Raw Koala bought a badge. Thanks, darling. Not a question, but after the last Q&A, I bought some broccoli and have tried it raw, eating a couple florets a day. I love that. That's awesome to hear. And yeah, that was what my reel today was about our gut microbiome and how we need more variety in our diets. Variety causes our gut microbiome to thrive. And when we have a thriving gut microbiome, we've got more nutrition, more serotonin, better immunity, more anti-inflammatory properties. But it's counterintuitive because if your gut microbiome is weak and you try to eat these high fiber foods, then it's an irritant because your gut's not able to digest it yet. Yet is the key word, because we have to feed them. We have to feed them slowly, give them a little bit here and there, still eating abundance of the foods that don't bother us, but increasing that variety slowly so that we can have more variety. Because it's not the broccoli that we can't digest. It's the fact that our gut microbiome has been compromised by our past, by stress, by all kinds of factors. But our gut microbiome is what's weak and isn't able to digest the broccoli. Broccoli is healthy for us. We should be eating broccoli. But so many people have said, well, rough greens and broccoli and all that fiber isn't good for us because we can't digest it. We can't digest it. Our bacteria digest it. So if our bacteria is weak, of course they're going to have a hard time digesting it. So we have to build them. We have to build them up so that they're flourishing and they're taking over and they're having a party in our gut in a good way. And they're able to digest all of the new fiber that we're putting in. So that's great that you're doing that. Jessica saying, I know you eat, say, banana smoothies as breakfast, but could you recommend something like that when I struggle with chronic fatigue? So say a power energy breakfast. Well, That's an interesting question because our energy, our number one energy source is fruit. So for me, a power smoothie is fruit. It's all fruit, all kinds of fruit, bananas, blueberries, raspberries, passion fruit, mango, pineapple. I'll add it all to the smoothie. I just don't put fat in my smoothie. So the fat actually prevents us from using sugar properly and can cause insulin resistance when too much fat is in the diet. So for me, a power smoothie is fruit. Fruit is our number one source of energy. So if you're looking for energy, it's going to be fruit. With chronic fatigue, it really depends on a lot of circumstances. Like I can't dive into it too much in a live because everything is so unique to each person and where they've come from, their past diet, what they ate yesterday, what they're still eating with a raw diet. There's so many factors that come into play. But just to say, the higher fat you eat, the more tired you'll be when you're eating lots of fruit. So kind of like a balance scale, right? The more fruit you eat, the less fat you can have, which you still want to have fat, but you're going to eat it with your greens. But if you eat more fat, you have to lower your fruit. Otherwise, you're going to have insulin resistance. So you got to find that balance. That's why 80-10-10 works so well, is because we can eat abundance of fruit and still have a small amount of fats with our greens and function in a stable, sustained way, instead of having all this fat and then feeling tired when we have a banana smoothie. So if you want to have the banana smoothies, if you want to get the most out of the whole fruit sugar, you have to lower your fat percentage. You have to lower how much overall fats you're doing, get rid of the animal products, get rid of the oils, and start doing lower fat with your greens. Something else you could probably do for a more sustained energy release would be to add greens to your smoothie. So say you have a banana smoothie, you could add greens to it, you could add sprouts to it if you wanted, and that will be a little bit more of a sustained release because there's more fiber in there. But I feel like when you say power energy breakfast, that's fruit for me and it's fruit for most people. But with chronic fatigue, again, there's so many factors that come into play, and it could be something else that you're doing, and it's not necessarily the fruit, because fruit is our number one source of energy. So we should be using that first. It's everything else that we're doing that can cause sugar to not be used in our body, and then we blame sugar, right? We blame sugar because it's actually not sugar, it's everything else. I hope that helps. I do hope that helps. Watermelon on Lime says, what does Irish Cmos look like before and after soaking? I'm not sure I bought the right thing, but it smells like the sea. So Irish moss kind of looks like, it looks like seaweed. And when it's dry, it's like really hard, kind of looks like it's all mingled together. And then when you soak it, it's more spongy, just like from the sea. And it's clear. You can get purple. I've seen purple moss as well. So it really depends on what kind you're getting, but it should look like a seaweed, basically a clear seaweed or purple seaweed. And once you hydrate it, then you would move it from the soaking bowl, drain it, rinse it, get rid of any sand or anything that's in there. Add it to a blender with about a cup of water or so, depending on how much you've soaked. You just blend that into a gel, and then that gel you can keep in the fridge and you can use for recipes. Gotta rinse it well. Yep, gotta rinse that stuff well. Guys, post your questions if you have them. Rock Koala, you give the best, most detailed, thoughtful answers. Aw, thank you. I try. Again, I really want to help you guys with anything, any thoughts that I have. I really want to share and help you because I hardly had any help when I first started. Jessica is saying, yes, my question was general about the fatigue. Thank you so much. You're very, very welcome. Yeah, it's definitely all about what else we're eating, because I've had a lot of people say, well, I can't eat this and this is what's bothering me, but it's actually not that. It's not fruit. it's not the greens, it's not anything. It could be mechanical, for example. Like somebody who's eating the most perfectly clean food combined diet still has gas and bloating because they're blending air into their smoothies, and the air's got to go somewhere, so maybe they have more gas, but it has nothing to do with the food. It's all to do with blending air into your smoothie. So that's mechanical, right? Not chewing your food properly. You're not absorbing as much from your food if you don't chew it properly. Our stomach is like, hey, you didn't chew. What's up, right? So each area of the digestive tract has its own job, and the mouth's job is to get that saliva, the amylase, which is your carbohydrate digestive enzyme, and it gets that all mixed up, ready for the stomach. So we have to chew our food first. It's very, very important. John, thank you for the badge. John bought a badge. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What does Fruit and Melissa have in common? They're both sweet, powerful, and great to have in your life. Thank you, John. John's my bud in the UK. We've been friends for a while. It's great to see him in here. Christine KM. So to clarify, fruit with fruit and greens, smoothies in the morning and during the day, and then greens with some fats in the evening. Yes, that's what I found to be the most sustainable way to follow a raw food lifestyle. When I first started raw, I did for 10 years, I was doing high fat and not eating enough, and I was scared of fruit. So I really wasn't eating a lot of fruit. I'd have like a little bit here and there, berries, apples, right? I was doing the low glycemic thing because I was taught that fruit was bad. Not bad, but you know, limit your fruit. There's too much sugar. So I would do that, and that was in my mind, and I know a lot of people think that way because we're taught that way. We're not taught anything otherwise because we all already eat way too high fat. So if you're eating high fat, then it's going to be really hard to eat a lot of fruit. We have to lower the fat to appropriate amounts for the human body so that we can eat an abundance of fruit. So what I found after being interested in trying raw food since 2004, it's been a long time, I've noticed that it is fruit in the morning, fruit for snacks, a low-fat big salad for lunch with a fruity dressing like date-based or mango blended with spices and miso paste or whatever you want to add in there, like a really heavy, high-calorie fruit-based dressing. And then with dinner, that's where I like to have my fats. So I focus on omega-3, of course. So chia, flax, hemp, those are like the top ones that I would go to. Not so much flax, more so chia and hemp. And then if I do cashews or almonds or whatever, that's also at dinner time. And I'll either switch between one of the two, or we'll do like half an avocado and maybe a little drizzle of like a creamy dressing or something. So we really do keep the fats with our dinner, with our greens, and we keep fruit alone. Fruit as snacks, like just grab a bowl of mangoes. I just ate this melon right before I came on this live. So it's a snack, right? We eat that as a snack, and then we have our bigger meals of the greens for lunch and dinner. And you could do smoothie, like sometimes we'll do smoothies for lunch if we're super busy and we just don't have time to chop anything. We will make smoothies for lunch, but we tend to make like really big smoothies for lunch because we need to have the calories to sustain us until dinner time. But dinner time is where we have our fats, our creamier dressings. Do you feel that steamed veggies are bad for us? Ooh, good question. I don't like using the word bad, because I feel like diet culture has really destroyed this idea, and they're demonizing whole foods that aren't bad for us. It's just, how do you feel on them? Do they drain you? Do they not make you feel good? Do you overdo cooked foods? Like, there's so many factors that come into play. And it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's what is ideal for you and what do you want to do. I choose raw food not because cooked food is bad. I don't choose raw because I'm scared of eating cooked food, or I think cooked food's not going to heal me. I see countless people heal just eating whole food, plant-based, cooked, right? But the more raw they eat, the more hydrated they are, the more variety of raw plant fiber they're getting, the more volume they can eat. When you're eating cooked foods, it's almost like it depends on what you're eating that's cooked. Steamed veggies are, I mean, if you're gonna have them with some raw food, like steam some broccoli and add them to your raw salad, if that's what you need to do, then do it. I don't think that steamed broccoli is evil or poisonous or toxic like a lot of people think, but how do you feel when you eat all raw? And decide based on your own desires, not because someone online told you it was bad. And I feel really sad that people are falling into this diet culture. Like we don't want diet culture, but it's moved on into the raw vegan community, and there's people out there who demonize cooked foods. And it depends on what you're eating. Like steamed broccoli is not Hamburger Helper. Steamed broccoli or steamed chard is not a bag of potato chips. You can't compare them. So steamed veggies are definitely not bad in my books. I just personally don't eat them because I prefer how I feel on raw food. So, it's not like you need to get permission, right? Because I get a lot of people saying, and they're asking like, can I have this? Can I have that? Is this okay to eat? Is this bad? Should I do this? And really, when it comes down to it, it's not about getting permission, because you are allowed to eat anything that you want to eat. We shouldn't fall into this diet culture restrictive mindset. We can eat whatever we want. So the question then becomes, what do you truly want? Because you might want pizza, but do you really want pizza? Like, do you want what that pizza brings to your life? Do you want what certain things bring to your life? If you do, then it's totally your prerogative. And I can't say it's right or wrong for you, because I just choose not to. And I'm trying to promote people eating more raw foods. And wherever you go in your journey is really up to you. And I don't like how diet culture has moved its way into the raw community. It's sad to see, because so many of us still fall into that. And when I first started eating raw in 2014, again, I was stuck in that detox culture and diet culture, because I believed I needed to eat clean and I needed to do this and do that and whatever to heal, when really I just had to be me and enjoy my raw food and enjoy abundance and enjoy variety and just have fun with it, get creative and try new things. And it was so much more freeing, because we fit into a little box, or we fit ourselves into a little box. We're like stuck in this box, and it says, we can't have this, we can't have that, we shouldn't eat this, we shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. So we stick in this box like, I am a raw vegan and I only eat raw food, right? And I only eat raw food. I'm not saying that I eat cooked food, but I give myself permission to release yourself from that cage, the box of the label. Instead of saying, I can't have this and I can't have that, you say, I can have anything I want. I can eat anything I want. I could choose pizza tomorrow. I could go to 7-Eleven and buy a bag of chips if I wanted to. But remember that ultimate question. What do you truly want? What is the real desire? Is it to reach your goals? Is it to feel healthier? Is it to clear your acne? Is it to feel abundant and hydrated? What are your goals? How do you feel when you eat raw food? We feel empowered. We feel proud of ourselves. We feel hydrated and healthy and happy and all these things. We know we're feeding our good microbiome and we're taking really good care of our vessel. These are what our true wants are. And it really depends on what your true wants are. So yeah, that's a good question, because I do get that often. Like, are we able to eat these things? And of course you can. Try different things. Try doing all raw. Try adding steamed veggies to your salad. Try whatever works with you. But the goal is to eat more raw food as much as you can. And if that happens to be all raw, that's cool. Favorite dressing. My favorite dressing changes every day. I feel like I have like a zillion favorite recipes, zillion favorite dressings. Yesterday we had a Caesar recipe from our app. So that's fun. I love the Caesar one. And what else the Mahini curry has been a really good one, but we've been making a lot of dressings and new sauces from the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, because we got the bundle. So we've got that. There's over 1,000 recipes in there. So we've been having a lot of fun playing with new recipes. And lately It's not a dressing, but the creamy tomato bisque soup from Karen Ramsey and Lauren's book in the bundle has been by far one of our favorite new meals, and we've had it almost every day since we got the bundle because we're like, we can't stop. It's like lunch every day. Plus it's really easy because you just put everything in the blender and blend it up and you're good to go. But yeah, also the sauce on Johnny Juicer's volcano sushi is like, what? So good. And his book is in the bundle as well. So if you guys want the bundle, the link is in the chat, pinned in the chat, or you can also find it, link in bio. All of the recipes that you get in the bundle will no longer be a bundle after November 1st. So if you want to grab the bundle, feel free to go to that link. I'm just gonna scroll back here and see because it popped. I wanted to send a special thank you for everyone who got badges. Thank you so much, so much. It means the world. And by buying the bundle, getting badges, that kind of thing, that allows me to continue doing what I do here on Instagram, helping you. I spend hours upon hours messaging people, sending voice texts, trying to help people with their struggles in DMs. So if you have a struggle, if there's something you want to ask, if you need to talk to somebody because no one else in your life is raw and you just need to say something, I'm here for you. You can send a message. And the only reason I'm able to do that is because you guys support me by buying the bundle, by buying badges, by even if you didn't buy anything, just by sharing my reels and your stories, making recipes from my book, take a picture and tag me, like my stuff, comment on my stuff. That is all truly appreciated. Like, you have no idea how much I appreciate it. So in turn, I want to help you as much as I can. So if you have a struggle, please don't hesitate to send a message. I do like to send voice messages back. So if you want to have a little chat, I'm there for you. John is saying, yes, very true. Not taught about fruit's benefits. I got told by a doctor, don't eat too much fruit or you'll be sick. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we are taught these things. And it's not that they are like, it's not like they're trying to make it bad. Like, they also don't know either. They're just like us. They're stuck in this diet culture and they don't know because they're just parroting what everyone else is saying. And it's diet culture parroted upon diet culture. So we really need to open our hearts and break things down and relearn. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, Alyssa, is there any replacement option for young coconut in your quiche recipe? No young coconut here. By the way, the bundle is absolutely amazing. Love it. For the quiche recipe, the coconut really is a very key ingredient to the quiche. And again, the quiche recipe, the Christmas quiche, is in the exclusive holiday ebook, and it's only available in the bundle. Once it's gone, you can't get that book anymore. So it's a collector's edition. If you want to get that, it's in the bundle. But as for replacements, you could try mixing. You're going to need to use more Irish moss because you want to get that like jelly kind of texture. You could use ground flax, but it's going to add more fats, obviously. You could blend cashews with some zucchini. You could add more Irish moss to that blend. But yeah, you could do those. I haven't tried it like that, but you could give it a shot and see. You could also use mature coconut that's been blended with water to get it a little bit more creamy. But again, the texture is going to be very different than using just the young coconut. But if I was to make it without coconut, I would do zucchini and say sunflower seeds or maybe a little bit of cashews to get like a creamy consistency. You want it kind of like pudding, really. Mix some Irish moss in there too, because the Irish moss is really going to help it stick together. Yeah, great question. I know not everyone can get all of the ingredients, so hopefully one day you can find a young coconut and be able to do that. Can you say hello to David Powell from England, please? From John. Who is David Powell? I'm out of the loop on that one. I love raw food and I love the bundle. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying the bundle. The bundle is so unique, so special, and we are happy to all have come together with our brand new ebooks for $50. It's like I mean, just the holiday book alone is worth $50. So if you wanted to get 55 ebooks, including my party book, Nate's Alive book, it's all in the bundle for $50. What are some good sources of protein you eat? Protein, that's another question that I get asked a lot. The thing is, protein is in everything, and protein is actually, our foods, it's amino acids. So I want to say, like, it's not actually protein, it's amino acids, because when we eat food, we take the long protein strand and we break it up into amino acids, and then we rebuild ourselves. Think of it as Lego, right? So your plants, each plant is a different chunk of Lego that's all put together. When we eat that, we have to take all the Lego pieces off. And then we rebuild our own body from those building blocks. So then we take those Lego pieces and we build our own cells and hormones and hair and whatever else we need to build from the amino acids that we get from plants. And some people get them from animals. I no longer do. But when you're eating plants, the key is variety. The key is abundance. If you are under eating, it doesn't matter what diet you're on. If you're under eating, you're not going to be getting enough nutrition in general. So whether that be protein or fiber or other nutrition and minerals and stuff, if you're under eating, you can't do that forever. You have to find a way to be able to eat adequate amount of calories while still getting a really good amount of nutrition, because you want to sustain your calories for life. You don't want to be restricting just to lose weight or whatever reason you are restricting your calories. It's not sustainable long term, because we need to eat enough and we need to get that nutrition. So when it comes to protein, it's basically everything. Everything I eat has protein in it. So greens, sprouts, fruit, small amount of nuts and seeds. The key is volume. So if I was only eating 1,200 calories, I would probably only be getting 30 grams of protein a day. But because I eat 2,400 calories, I'm easily surpassing 60 grams of protein a day, no problem. But I eat enough, I eat abundantly, and you can see that in Chronometer. If you enter in all your foods, you can see how much protein you're getting. And by including a lot of variety, lots of greens, lots of sprouts, microgreens, and a small amount of nuts and seeds, it should be really easy to hit your RDA for protein. Like my RDA for my height and weight is 46 grams of protein a day. And that's the top low, like that's the maximum amount that you technically need according to the World Health Organization. The protein requirements are on the high end. We don't need to be eating 3 times the RDA of protein at all. We should be more eating 3 times the RDA for fiber instead. Because if we go for fiber, we're naturally going to get more protein. And only 3% of North Americans eat the RDA of fiber a day. Only 3%. That's a big problem. Like everyone's so like focused on protein, but 97% of the population is neglecting fiber, which if you eat a lot of fiber-rich foods, you're gonna naturally get enough protein because there's a lot of protein in those fiber-rich foods. So I would say everything is a source of fiber for me. Do you have good places to get miso paste in bulk? That's a good question. Because miso paste, I have not found it in bulk, but I get it right now from the Asian market. So there's a couple Asian markets here in Vegas, 99 Ranch and 168 Market, I think. They have miso paste. I think it's the 168 Market. I can't remember the name of it. Nate goes there. He's the one who does a lot of the shopping. But he gets the low sodium organic miso from them, and they're the only one in the city that we've been able to find the low sodium miso. But again, the sodium in miso doesn't act the same way on your cardiovascular system as regular table salt does. So the miso is a great alternative to adding salt. You still get a little salty flavor, but it doesn't have the same effect on your cardiovascular system. I learned that from a recent Dr. Greger video. And a lot of other gut doctors are very pro miso. So miso is definitely a big part, not a big part, I mean, so what a tablespoon isn't a big part, but it's an often part of our diet. We add miso paste to dressings and things like that, and it also helps with your gut microbiome. But as for bulk, I haven't seen it bulk. You can make your own miso. There are ways to make your own miso, but you need the koji culture to do so, and finding that is really difficult. So I would just say, yeah, keep getting the smaller containers. We actually bulk up on the small containers. So we'll buy like 6 at a time, so we don't end up having to go there, because it is fermented food. So it's meant to be preserved by fermentation. So we'll have, you know, those boxes in the fridge just waiting for us to use them, just so that we don't go to the store so often. Because that store is really the only thing we get from there is the miso paste and some random veggies if we happen to need some. So we try not to constantly be going to a store that's out of the way when we could just buy a whole bunch of it and keep it in the fridge. Caesar dressing sounds good. Totally agree. 9 years ago when I first learned about eating raw, there was a very rigid, dogmatic approach from a lot of the YouTubers. Now I've relaxed and I'm not hard on myself. Don't feel guilty. That's the whole goal, is to feel relaxed and to be doing raw because you want to do raw and you want to eat more raw and you love it, right? When you come at something from like a worry, fear-based mindset, it's really hard to sustain. But when you come at something with a loving, happy, excited mindset, it's easy to sustain. And I know Chris Kendall was talking about this on someone's post, and they were talking about being obsessed, right? It's sad that the English language doesn't have multiple words for the same thing that mean different things, because you can be obsessed in a negative way, but you can be obsessed in a positive way. But it's the same word, and we connect obsessed with a negativity more often than we do positivity. So we need more words for one. But if you are obsessed with eating super clean and detoxing and like eliminating stuff, and you're worried about this and that and organic and minerals and if you're getting enough and blah, 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 and you're too overly worried and concerned about that can become an obsession, which many have termed orthorexia, where you're so overwhelmed and consumed by making sure that absolutely everything is super perfect that you end up restricting, you end up really stressed out. And most people who are in that situation, coming from that obsessive mindset, can end up with eating disorders. More often than not, they do. And then they end up restricting even more. They limit their choices even more. And then they only end up eating 2 or 3 things because their gut just doesn't do it. And then they end up eating animal products or going full carnivore or what have you, because there's no fiber in there, because their gut microbiome's destroyed because they limited themselves too much. It's not the vegan diet. It's how you do the vegan diet and your relationship with vegan foods. That's why I feel like I did raw vegan for 10 years and I always thought it wasn't for me because I could never sustain it. But I needed to take self-responsibility. And for one, I didn't know any better. So that came into play. But I was also not taking self-responsibility. I blamed the diet. I said, well, raw veganism isn't for me, but I would always fall back to it because it resonated so much. So it was a really confusing time for me, that 10 years where I kept trying raw. And I did the paleo, whatever, Weston Price, Nourishing Traditions thing. I ate the ancestral diet and I did all that. Like, I've done all of it and I've opened my heart to it in the past. And I've learned from that side of the fence as well. And it just didn't work the way I expected it to. And I did it the way they said. And I know people on a vegan diet, they say I did it the way they said, but a lot of people say to restrict on the raw diet. I've seen it countless times. Like, they're like, well, we should only be eating a few foods, like just mangoes and lettuce and bananas, maybe a tomato here or there or whatever, right? Like they limit themselves to maybe 5 or 6 different foods, and that limits your bacteria to 5 or 6 different groups of colonies that like those foods. And then when they eat broccoli, they get gassy and bloated because they've limited their variety so much to the extent that it irritates their colon. And this when they share on social media, other people are like, ooh, yeah, maybe that's what's wrong with me. Maybe I need to restrict too. And it just creates this snowball effect of everybody restricting instead of learning about how to heal their gut microbiome and how to increase their variety so that they can have a strong digestion. But the mindset comes into play so deeply, and we tend to fall into that very easily because it's very convincing. It's very convincing. Like the purity mindset, we want to be pure and clean and perfect, and it's easy to fall into that vortex. But from everything that I've seen over the last, I worked in natural health since 2001, and over the last 20 years, this is like a recurring theme. As soon as you start restricting your calories and your variety, you end up with issues no matter what diet you're on. It doesn't matter if you're eating the cleanest, purest foods, whole foods out there. If you're restricting and you are limiting your variety, Nate and I eat around 80 different plant varieties a week. We've written up lists of all the stuff that we buy at the store. And yes, we might not be eating grains, but we eat a multitude of sprouts. We do mung bean and beluga lentils and green lentils and French lentils and peas and chickpeas, and we make so many different kinds of sprouts. We make lots of microgreens now. We eat lots of root vegetables and other vegetables and greens like galore. Tons of different fruit varieties. We don't limit ourselves. The only time I ever do mono meals is, say the mangoes are just like mind-blowingly good, I might have a mono snack of like 3 or 4 or 5 mangoes, and that's just a snack, but I still make sure that I get a lot of variety throughout the day. So it's very rare that I do a mono meal unless it's a snack. If it's a snack, then yeah, I'll probably eat like 3 or 4 bananas or maybe 2 or 3 apples or something as a snack, and it's just a snack, right? But breakfast is typically full of variety, at least more than 2 or 3 different things in each smoothie that I have, if not more. I like to have the really good variety ones. Like my dream smoothie, tropical smoothie, is like coconut water, pineapple, mango, passion fruit, banana, strawberry, and raspberry. Whew, with lemon juice. That is like, oh my gosh, with dates too. Beyond amazing, but that's a lot of variety. And some people would say that's bad food combining. But my gut is just having a party with it because that's what I normally eat. I eat a lot of variety, so I have a good, strong microbiome to be able to digest that variety. And if somebody has sensitivities, then yeah, they might need to limit things for a short period, but instead, say they can only do bananas and dates in their smoothie, and if they add anything else, it's more difficult to digest, then I would suggest adding like 2 berries, just 2 berries. That's it. You have to go slow if you have irritation when you add other things to grow the healthy gut microbiome that you need to digest that. So yeah, that's what I would say. I'm glad that you are more relaxed. That's really important. Make the tomato bisque. Yeah, it's in Karen's book, Ready, Set, Raw, in the bundle. That tomato bisque is like so good. Yes, Lissa, you're an amazing, pure soul. Appreciate your hard work. Thank you so much. My Hopeful Kitchen bought a badge. Big hugs. Thank you so much. That means the world. Hello, friend, hanging out with you on my lunch break. Awesome, Jessica. Big hugs to you, Jessica. Do you have to be high fruit if raw? I'm sensitive to the sugar in high fruit. So if you're sensitive to the sugar, then that typically means that you're already eating too high fat. If you're eating a lot of fats, then it's going to be hard to eat more fruit. But I personally feel like the best way to do a raw diet, what I've seen work the best across the board, is to have an equal amount of fruits and a lot of greens. So we're not talking about all fruit or super high fruit and that's all you're eating. I am pro fruit. I'm not against fruit at all, but we still need to have a variety of greens in our diet and vegetables to feed our good microbiome. Plus the amount of fiber that comes from all those other things, the minerals and the protein and everything else that comes from the vegetable side, we need both. So the fruit is going to be mainly for your calories, your hydration, and your vitamins and antioxidants and stuff, mostly for hydration and calories, really. The vegetables and the greens are more for higher fiber, minerals, and protein. So if you think about that, we need them all. We need everything. Yes, there's some of everything in everything, but really we need to make sure that we include it all so that we have a really healthy gut microbiome. And yes, we are primates. So we are like our frugivore cousins, I guess you could say. And the thing is, people want to be like whatever we're closest to, but we have to accept that we are our own unique species and we have our own unique gut microbiome, and we have to eat to help them thrive, because when they thrive, we thrive. We work synergistically with those gut microbiome. We live, symbiotically. We live with them and they live with us, and they rely on us to give them fiber, and we rely on them to give us certain things like converting K1 into K2, which is essential for bone health, making vitamin B12, changing the fiber into short chain fatty acids, which are anti-inflammatory and give us energy. They fight off the bad guys. They are 70% of our immune system. They produce 90% of your happy hormone. So the more of them you have, the more happy hormone you have. And not to say that my life is perfect, but I'm happy the majority of the time. I love my life and I'm happy eating the way I do. And I think my gut microbiome has a really big thing to do with that, because before I was eating raw, I was bitchy. I was negative a lot of the time, and I was really irritable and impatient and frustrated all the time. And now I'm way happier, way happier. And I feel happier on this lifestyle. But again, like I said, like the diet doesn't take away life circumstances. Like it's not going to fix the world's issues, and it's not going to pay my taxes or get my tax stuff into my accountant. That kind of stuff's still going to cause anxiety. But the diet and my gut microbiome help me to be able to cope with all of these stresses in the world. And that's what I would rather be able to cope with everything than to not, right? Just to eat a pizza because I'm having a bad day. But yeah, that's what I would say about that one. If you're having a hard time with adding more fruit, add more greens. Put some greens in your smoothie, like a handful of romaine or some sprouts or something like that. Don't add fat, just do greens. Add more greens. The fats you can have with your salad at night, but focus on the fruit for breakfast with some greens, and have fruit for snacks. And you could eat greens with that too, like put banana in a lettuce leaf, or something like make a mango salsa inside lettuce leaves, or have some cucumbers, and just have more veggies in your life and still have a lot of fruit as well, because that's what's going to give you most of your energy. Can you eat too much CMOS? I don't know. I'm not sure, but normally if we're gonna do CMOS, it's like 2 tablespoons in a smoothie, and then if we have it in a dressing or whatever, it's another tablespoon or 2. Or if we make a big recipe like the green onion cakes, which is a new recipe in my party food book, which you can get in the bundle right now. It's brand new released party food, 50 party recipes, appetizers. There's a green onion cake recipe in there, and each cake has probably, I'm not exactly sure, it depends on how big you make them, but they're probably like 2 tablespoons of CMOS gel in each one. Really good for your skin. But yeah, that's, I would say, I don't know how much you can eat, but honestly, I don't see just eating CMOS straight, because it's bland, and really it's meant to be part of your smoothie and be part of a recipe, not to be just eaten with a spoon. Oh, John. So hello, John's dad. Big hugs. You have an awesome son. Let's see what else we got here. Hello, Jello from Ontario, Canada. Hello. Low sodium miso paste is awesome. Indeed it is. I highly recommend finding that, encouraging you to find the low sodium versions, because they exist out there, but sometimes they are hard to find. Asian markets are like gold mines for amazing variety. Like just going into an Asian market, you really realize how little variety you actually eat, because there's so much stuff going on in the Asian markets, and we're blessed to have them as options to go and get some food. There's like bok choy and sui choy and like all different kinds of bok choy species in there, and cabbages galore and different kinds of mushrooms and exotic fruits. There's so much in those stores. I highly recommend going and supporting your local Asian markets because they have a lot of stuff. Can you address juice fasting, please? This is a topic that is a unpopular opinion of mine. I'm not anti-juice. For those who think I am, I'm not anti-juice. I've had a few random juices here and there, like if we're out and about and there's a juice bar that's making cold pressed juices and it looks great, or if we're in a raw restaurant and they have some kind of really yummy juice or whatever, I'll get it. It's not the end of the world. However, juice fasting is almost fiberless. Like there is some fiber in there for sure. And for people who are coming from a super low fiber diet, of course you're adding more fiber to it. And of course you're gonna feel better because you're not eating all the other stuff. That's really the thing. It's not the fast, in my opinion. Again, people are gonna disagree with me on this one, but I don't think it's the fast. I think it's the elimination of all the other stuff. So I think you can cleanse just perfectly fine by eating whole foods, getting a lot of fiber in, and feeding your good gut microbiome. There's no need to do a juice fast. It's way too expensive. I feel it's time consuming. We don't even own a juicer, so it's not part of our lifestyle. And no shade on people who do juicing. I think that it's more for a supplement. Like it's an addition to your diet. And if you're gonna do juicing, I would do it like John Kohler does and make really bitter green juices. None of these like drinking liters of orange juice or having pineapple mango juice, because you're not getting enough fiber in there. If you're gonna do juice, I would say stick with the greens, use cucumber as the watery base and get the greens in there to get the nutrition from the greens. But also eat a really, really high fiber diet along with that so that you're still feeding your gut microbiome. You're getting the best of both worlds if you're gonna do juices. But the fasting, I think, is a trend. It's put on a pedestal as being the be all end all of everything. But in reality, it's really just the fact that people stopped eating the junk. And unfortunately, I see far too many people fall into the juice fasting detox vortex, and they constantly are doing juice fast after juice fast after juice fast, thinking that they need to give their gut a break. A break from what though? Our heart doesn't get a break. Our lungs don't get a break. Our skin doesn't get a break. Our brain doesn't get a break. It's even working when we're sleeping. And our muscles don't get a break. Our digestive organs and everything don't need a break. They just need us to stop assaulting it with foods that don't belong in there. So we need the fiber for a healthy, strong gut. We don't need to give it a break because the gut microbiome, they need food just as much as we need food. We need nourishment. And when people say, well, I'm nourishing every cell in my body with the juice, they're neglecting over half the cells in your entire body are bacteria. So you're only nourishing half your body. You're not giving them the fiber that they need to flourish. And now I know a lot of people have experienced benefits doing a fast, and I'm again not here to shade on anything, but to really bring to light the other side of the fasting, because it's not really talked about. It's praised, it's on a pedestal, it's a trend, and far too many people are doing it without actually needing to do it. They just need to change the foundation of their diet instead of falling into these binge restrict cycles where they'll do a fast and then they've restricted themselves from fiber or maybe calories or what have you for far too long, and then they end up eating cooked food and then end up on junk food again, and then they come back and they're like, I need to do another juice fast. That's not how it goes. We need to change the foundation of what we're doing every single day so we're not bouncing back and forth from the restriction to the binging. It's something that diet culture is perpetuating as well, and also people are trying to be pure and perfect out of fear, so they're going on these extreme long-term juice fasts. Like I said, it's not juicing that's the problem. Like if you're gonna have a juice here and there with your high fiber raw diet, that's fine. But it's the mindset around it. Like why are you doing it? Are you under care from a practitioner? Is it something that you need to do? And another thing too is like people will say they're doing it for spiritual reasons, but they're posting all over social media failing to realize that they, just by posting something, you're inspiring someone else to do it as well, whether they need it or not, because they see it and they praise it. And they're like, wow, that's amazing you did that. It's actually more amazing to sustain a raw diet long-term, healthfully with abundance and building a good microbiome than to do a 1 week fast or what have you and then end up going back, because I've done fasts in the past as well. When I was in my early 20s, I would do the master cleanse. I did juice fasting. I had a juicer and I did like weeks of juicing and stuff. And I would always end up binging after, just because I hadn't created a new foundation of my diet. So if you're coming from a standard North American diet and you jump into a juice cleanse, when you're done the juice cleanse, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fall back to your old patterns because you haven't created a new pattern, a new habit, a new reality. You're just gonna fall back to that. And the majority of people do this. It's just a common thing amongst us. Again, there are a few random people who are strong enough to stick to a raw diet after a fast, but it's not likely for everybody. And there's not a lot of people who are talking about the other side. Because I talk about the other side of things, I get a lot of messages from people who are saying, yes, I did a fast and now I can't digest certain foods. I feel better than I did, but I'm like worse off in some other ways. Maybe their metabolism's all messed up. They now have a disordered relationship with food. They fear certain foods. They're trying to get more pure and clean. And this is all in the mind. It's a mental health issue and we need to address that. But when they come to me, they say, I can't talk to the juicing gurus because they tell me I did it wrong, or I need to go deeper, or I have to do it again, or whatever. There's like other things, and they won't blame juicing ever. And it's sad for the person because then they feel gaslit, like they did something wrong or whatever. And it's really not that. It's the fact that they were just not feeding their good bacteria maybe, or they were under calories on the juice fast or what have you. So I hear these stories and I hear hundreds of them, and it's really sad. So again, I'm not anti juicing, obviously, but I am cautious. And I don't promote it on my page because I know how influential a page can be. Just by posting one thing, I could post a dress that I'm wearing and I'll get a lot of people asking, where did I get that dress? My bowls that we eat our salads in, where do you get your bowls? When people see something, they want to do it too, or they are inspired as well. So I have to be really careful with what I share on my page because I want to be responsible and I want to speak for those people who can't speak up because they're scared that they're going to be told that they aren't good enough because they just didn't do it good enough and they need to do it again and they need to restrict more. So long answer, but I hope that helped. Again, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but it's my opinion and yeah, it is what it is. Thanks for listening to my rant, peeps. So how do we introduce our systems without the bloat and side effects? Slowly. You introduce things slowly. And I'm not talking like a cup of broccoli. I'm talking one little floret of broccoli in a salad that you can digest. So you don't want to restrict your calories. So say you do really well on the simple things, just add small amounts of the things that you feel sensitive to and increase slowly, like week over week. We're talking one little floret of broccoli for a whole week every day, and then the next week do 2 florets and see how you feel. If it's too much, then go back to 1 floret for a while, just to build that gut microbiome. And do the same thing with cabbage, do the same thing with radishes, and just slowly introduce these foods. Small amounts, like we're talking like a tablespoon or 2 of these foods if they bother you. People will eat like 2 or 3 cups of broccoli and then wonder why they have gas and bloating when they haven't had broccoli in a while. Their gut microbiome just can't do it. So go down to smaller amounts and just increase slowly. And if you're dealing with greens that are hard to digest, you could do something like microgreens or baby greens because those fibers are a little bit easier. Plus, chew your food really well. That's a big one. A big one is not chewing your food enough. You have to chew your food properly, otherwise you can get some digestive upset. Also, don't talk while you're eating. When you talk a lot while you're eating, you're swallowing a lot of air, and that's going to cause gas no matter how you eat, no matter how clean you eat, no matter how much variety you have or how simple it is. If you're swallowing air, that's going to have to come out somewhere. Then also getting a vacuum blender. Getting a vacuum blender is going to be a game changer, especially for those who are doing a lot of smoothies, soups, and dressings, because we're blending all the air into, and you're blending like an inch worth of air in the blender into your dressing. So you need to experiment with a vacuum blender. Vacuum blender is like, Nate and I will not blend in the regular blender ever again. We're actually thinking of getting a second vacuum blender just in case this one breaks, because we don't want to go back to the other way. The amount of air that isn't being introduced into our bodies is so nice. It's so nice. And it's not like we changed what we eat. We just changed how we made it. We stopped blending air into our smoothies. So that can really help if you have gas and bloating issues. That's why your recipes are so delicious. Thank you very much. Made the tomato bisque. Delicious. Awesome. Maria, pianist, bought a badge. Thank you so much. Have you ever measured your calories in raw food? Yes, in the beginning, I used Chronometer, and I recommend people use Chronometer or a food tracking app in the beginning. Again, it's not about it becoming an obsession. Like, you don't want to be obsessed with counting calories and getting it all right. It's meant to be a tool to learn about the food that we're putting in our bodies. We want to learn about, like, how much does an 800 calorie salad look like? What does an 800 calorie smoothie look like? What do I have to add to my salad to get more calcium? And just like play around with it and really learn about the food that you're putting into your body, because we're not taught, unfortunately. And when we are said to listen to our body and eat intuitively, our signals are all out of whack because we are not taught truly how to eat intuitively. And we can't eat intuitively until we learn about the foods that we're eating, and we learn how much food we need to eat to maintain health and vitality and stuff like that. How do you get B12? Well, B12 is an environmental vitamin. Doesn't matter what diet you're on, we are meant to get that from the bacteria in wild soil. So those who have gardens and who are gardening a lot or who spend a lot of time in nature probably don't need to take a B12. Again, you want to get tested to make sure that you either need it or don't. You can take B12 as a preventative measure if you want, which is what I do. I take a B12 supplement because I live in a city. I live in a high rise. I'm not in nature as much as I'd like to be, and I don't have a garden. I don't have access to that kind of thing. So if you live in a city and you don't have access to a garden or soil or anything like that, then a B12 supplement is an environmental vitamin, not meant to be acquired from our diet. Over 80% of the world's B12 is actually fed to livestock. So meat eaters are getting it third party anyways. They're taking a supplement through the animal, and it's just not, it's not ideal, because the animals are supposed to get it from the soil as well, because it's made by a bacteria, as well as vitamin D is an environmental vitamin, which we're supposed to get from the sun. So seeing the sun more often. When I was in Canada, I took a B12 a D3 every single day because I wasn't seeing as much sun. Just bought the bundle. It's amazing. I thought the last one was good, but this is another level. Thank you, Vegan Cherry. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. Yes, this bundle is absolutely completely different than the other one. There is not one ebook in there that anyone has, because everything is brand new, freshly released, and it's over on November 1st. So we all decided to release all of our new ebooks all at once for $50. So if you want to grab the bundle, the link is in the chat as well as in my bio. Let's see what else have we got in here. Thank you guys for joining me. This is such a great live. Would you suggest perhaps reading first the 80-10-10 book to gain knowledge before starting a raw diet? Yeah, I would definitely recommend reading as much as you can. Watch videos, get different perspectives. I do follow the macros for 80-10-10, but there's some things in there that I don't follow. Like, for example, no garlic. I eat garlic every single day, and I'm probably never going to give up garlic. But there are, Nate always says, be like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee takes things from each person and he makes his own. right? Whatever works best for him, he makes his own. And I love the 80-10-10 idea of doing 80% carbs, 10% fat, and 10% protein. That seems to work the best overall, especially for raw food, because we're eating so much fruit. We have to eat a smaller amount of fats, and you can still get enough fats at 10% if you're eating over 2,000 calories or enough calories for your body. Raw Chef Yin in the house. Good morning from Malaysia. Yin, we're making one of your recipes tonight for dinner. I'm excited. Thank you for your common sense, advice, and caution. You're very welcome. Again, like I said, I'm no shade on those who do it. I just want to caution people to really think twice. And I think that juice fasting and fasting in general are extremely powerful healing modalities that are more meant to be used for extreme illness. And I was talking to, I think it was Damien and Fabio in one of our lives the other day about how a lot of people fast from a space of their ego, right? They think, I'm going to go on a fast from this day to this day, or I'm going to start a fast on this day and see how I feel. And that is our mind deciding on what the body needs. But the body is like, no, I'm hungry. And that's what, if you're hungry during a fast, it means your body wants food. It wants food. We're trying to force ourselves into it. The only time that I will ever fast, aside from sleeping, obviously fast when I sleep, but the only other time that I would fast is if my own body told me not to. For example, say I had a stomach flu and somebody brought me, let's see, what would be like the ultimate? I don't know. Like a raw vegan caramel cheesecake with Chris Kendall's raw pizza, raw Chef Yin's Asian salad, my ginger belief, and they just put out all of my absolute favorite raw foods on a table, and they're like, you can have everything you want and it's all free. But if my body was like, I feel like throwing up just thinking of drinking water, that is a sign that my body wants a fast. And that is when I would be like, okay, I'm gonna not eat this right now. And then it's normally a few hours later or the next day you wake up and you're hungry, you're like, okay, I'm good to go, right? The body sends the signal like, I don't wanna eat by cueing like nausea or disgust for food, but it only lasts a couple hours while the body does what it needs to do, or overnight for many people. And maybe it's a day if you have a severe stomach flu, or maybe you're severely injured and you just can't even think about drinking or eating. Maybe you do need to take that moment, but really, honestly, it's not like a 7-day, you're doing it and you're forcing yourself to do it even though you're hungry. If your body is hungry, it means it needs energy, it needs nutrition. So forcing your body into that, not listening to the cues, is a sign that you're doing it out of a space of your mind, your ego, I guess. And I hate saying ego because it sounds so like egotistic in a way, but I'm just saying it as it's like our mind trying to think of how our body needs instead of listening to what our body actually needs. So yeah, that's just a little bit more expand about that. Thank you so much for speaking about that. You're very, very, very welcome. I use green juice with a little apple as a supplement. I love green juice, and it's it's not a meal for me. It's just another way to get greens. Exactly. I love that perspective because it's just an extra thing that you're adding to an already super high fiber diet. It's just a bonus. It's not meant to be a meal. It's not meant to be a cleanse. And again, this is just my opinion. I know people are gonna disagree with it, but that's okay because I need to talk about it for those people hundreds of people that I've personally talked to, thousands actually probably by now, and I need to speak on their behalf. So how would we know if we are experiencing an issue with our gut microbiome? Good question. Most issues happen with gut microbiome and gut dysbiosis. So candida symptoms, brain fog, digestive upset like gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, irritation, cramps. Those kinds of things are gut dysbiosis, especially if you're adding healthy whole food to your diet and it's causing upset. That just means that your gut microbiome's probably out of balance and you need to slowly introduce more plant varieties into your diet and start getting rid of the other stuff. Stop eating the processed food, because we all know processed food is not ideal for the body and it's super low to no fiber. Fats like oils and animal products have zero fiber. There is zero fiber in oils and animal products. So if you're trying to feed your fiber thriving guys, you gotta start focusing on the whole plant fibers, raw preferably. So just start including more of that into your diet and work on building a stronger microbiome. Raw Chef Yin, I made the tomato bisque too from the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. That's a good one. I think everyone's really enjoying that. What about water fasting? Again, same deal. Water fasting is zero fiber, so your gut microbiome is going to be starving. And I am not a proponent to it. Again, I am not a doctor. I'm not supervised. I don't feel it's my place to say anything about it, because it's really up to you and a practitioner who deals with that. True North is a great place to go if you're gonna go that route, but I don't believe that it's necessary for everyone. It's kind of like a last resort. Just start by changing your diet and growing your gut microbiome. It takes time. It's not a quick fix. A lot of people try to do a water fast for a week, feeling like it's going to heal everything, or they water fast for a month, like it's going to be the be all end all of everything. But your bacteria are like starving when you do that. And I know there's probably people who are going to disagree with me again, but I recommend just focusing on the whole food. And if you need to do something like that, if you are severely or terminally ill, then you would seek out a practitioner and work with them on that. And not sharing it all over social media, because it's promoting it for other people to do when they may not need it. And I see that far too often. After buying the bundle or any ebook, what is the best way to view it? I find that my phone screen is very small and not the best way. So any ebook, you can download them onto phones, onto iPads, tablets, your laptop, anywhere that you can access the internet. Basically, you can download the book onto whatever device that you want to use. And it's just a PDF. So you can open it on pretty much any device and you'll be able to see it. It's great to open it on your laptop or your desktop. If you have a desktop, you can print the PDFs if you want to, or whatever you want to do with those. I take screenshots sometimes of certain recipes and then I just make the recipe off my phone, and that works for me. But if it's too small for you, then I would definitely recommend maybe printing the page out. Like open it up on your computer, select the page, and then print out one page at a time so that you can have those in the kitchen. I purchased the bundle and I want to say thank you. It's really a life-changing tool. So happy with all the new variety of recipes and raw food knowledge. Thanks for sharing and creating such tasty recipes. You're very welcome. So fun to have worked with all of the creators to create this bundle. Again, it's only available till November 1st. The link is in the chat and in my bio, so you can head over there and see it. Do you poop well? Yes, I do. I poop very well. 2 to 3 times a day, easy, effortless, great, abundant. It's really good. There's no issues. I used to be severely constipated before I went raw. I would only go like once a week, maybe twice. And that's interesting because when you're constipated, all the food that you constantly eat has to go somewhere. It sits somewhere. So if you're not going for a week and you're eating 3 pounds of food a day, then 3 times 7 is 21 pounds of food that's not coming out of you if you're constipated. And all that food, typically what most people eat is really low fiber. You're not having everything move smoothly through, and you're feeding putrefactive bacteria, which are not beneficial. I mean, they're the cleanup crew, so they are beneficial in a way, but they're not providing us the nutrition and converting vitamins for us because we're not eating those foods to feed those bacteria. So yeah, the poos are well. What are the highest fiber foods? Any plants. Eat plants, all of them, and variety. Fiber-filled fruit, veggies, greens, small amount of nuts and seeds. All of them have fiber in them. Anything that is a plant that's edible. The only things that are zero fiber are animal products and oils. So those are zero fiber. I appreciate that you're being so open. Aw, thank you. Why did you go raw? I went raw because In 2004, I learned about raw food and I tried to do raw for about 10 years. I would fall off and on. I did other diets like the primal diet. I was like hopping around through detox and diet culture and doing all kinds of things, fasts and blah, blah, blah. I worked in a supplement store in the natural health industry under my boss who had a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition. So he taught us a lot of stuff, but it was classic stuff that everyone's teaching, right? Like we need high fats and we need animal products and we need all this stuff and fruit's bad and all this stuff. So raw was a little bit harder for me because I was being indoctrinated to believe all these other things. And many people are. So it's okay if you have been confused in the past because most of us are or have been there. So I went raw in 2014, finally, after eating the crappiest diet of my entire life. I was eating bags of chips for breakfast. Like I'd totally fallen off because I'd restricted myself. I did like this keto thing at the gym for 2 months and I restricted myself so much. It was some days I was only eating 800 calories and then I started binging after that and I gained up to I was almost 200 pounds. And I decided one day after I woke up with heart flutters, I felt like I was having a heart attack. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go raw again, but this time I'm gonna figure out what I was doing wrong all those times. And what I realized was that I was eating way too high fat and I wasn't eating enough. I wasn't eating enough fruit. I wasn't eating enough greens. I wasn't eating enough veggies. So I decided to do the low fat 80-10-10 way for the fat, carbs, and protein. And so I did that and I was eating abundantly, lots of salads, lots of fruit, and it was so easy to stick to it. And it's been 7 years, just over 7 years. How do you feel about Nate's beard and mustache? I love it. I think it's great. I love that he is experimenting with himself. He wanted to grow the beard and he was like, what do you think? And I'm like, I love you for who you are. And I think it'll be awesome if you grow it and see what it looks like in a year. So he's doing it for a year. He might cut it off in April on his birthday. We're not sure if that's what he wants to do, but whatever he wants to do, I support him 100% because I love him for him. And yeah, I think he's cute. I really like the long hair. True North Health Center. Yes, that's where I would recommend. If you're going to do anything like that, I highly recommend you get supervised if you're going to do any fasting things. Imagine thinking fruit is bad. Yeah, I used to think that. I used to think it. What are some of your staple meals? Good question. So Nate and I, our staple meals would be smoothies, soups, and salads. Those are the three main things that we eat most often. Smoothies for breakfast and sometimes for snacks. We'll make smoothies. They're just really easy to do and they taste amazing in the vacuum blender. So we do a lot of fruit smoothies. And when we don't do a smoothie, we'll just chop fruit in a bowl, lots of variety, and enjoy it that way. Then for soups have been really great because we love soups. I mean, who doesn't, right? Soups are great. But the staple of all staples would be salads. And we blend our own dressings all the time before our meals. Sometimes we will blend for the next day as well. Like we'll make a quadruple batch and we'll have enough for the next day. But we do our salads and we have as much variety as we possibly can in the salads. We focus on greens first. So a whole head of romaine lettuce each for one salad. We do 2 salads a day. So a whole head of romaine lettuce, we've got cabbage in there, green and purple, so there's 2 varieties. Microgreens of all kinds, sprouts, carrots, radishes, celery, tomatoes, cucumbers, bell peppers, you name it. If it's in the fridge, we'll probably put it in our salad, and we try to have the biggest variety. Again, going to Asian markets or ethnic markets and trying to find different varieties of things to add to our salads, like bok choy and like different kinds of spices as well and herbs. We just go crazy like trying to find unique things that we can eat and include in our diet to feed our gut microbiome. I'm loving my BioChef vacuum blender system. Yes, the BioChef is amazing. So if you have a classic Vitamix base, or you can buy a base, typically you can find them on Craigslist sometimes if someone's selling their old Vitamix for like $100. You can get the old school base, or if you have an old school Vitamix, you can buy the BioChef. It's the jug with the lid that seals and the vacuum that goes on top. And then you vacuum all the air out and you blend under vacuum. So there's not as much oxidation, hardly any oxidation that happens. So the vitamins are more intact. The flavor is out of this world. Things taste way better. The texture is way better. Your digestion is way better because you're not swallowing a whole bunch of air every time you make a smoothie, every time you make a dressing, every time you make a soup. You're swallowing all that air and it's gonna cause gas no matter how perfect you eat. So yeah, the BioChef is incredibly amazing. I highly recommend it. Again, if you want the link to the BioChef, I can send you the attachment kit. It's the jug, the lid, and the vacuum that you can use on your Vitamix base. Send me a DM and ask for the link, and I will send you the link to John Kohler's website because that's where he sells it. It's only available from his website in the US, but I have heard people from Canada and the UK finding it online somewhere, so definitely check out if you're able to get it in your area. So yeah, vacuum blending is next level. Vacuum blending is basically, pretend you had a $30 cheap blender from Walmart and that's what you've been blending in. Think of going from that blender to a Vitamix, to an $800 Vitamix. That jump is the same as going from your $800 Vitamix to a vacuum blender. Doesn't matter what vacuum blender you use, you just wanna start blending under vacuum. And that jump is incredible. It's life-changing for our diets. Nate and I, like we've mentioned, we will never go back to regular blending because this has been such a game changer. So definitely discountjuicers.com. Yeah, he has the BioChef over there, but I do have the exact link. So if people want the exact link, otherwise you can go to discountjuicers.com. Variety is very important for our gut microbiome. Yes. Definitely. I'm all about abundance and variety. The more colors you can get, the more variety you can get, and make sure you eat enough. Those are like the top 3 keys, the easiest things to do to succeed on a raw diet. Do these raw book bundles have smoothie recipes? Yes, there's lots of smoothie recipes. There's actually a couple ebooks that are smoothie only. There's a microgreen smoothie ebook with I think 20 or 25 recipes on microgreen smoothies. And there's also a smoothie bowl recipe book as well. And a lot of the recipe books, like there's some meal plans, and the breakfasts are smoothies. So there's 55 things in the bundle, and most of them are recipe books. So you're gonna find over 1,000 recipes: smoothies, soups, salads, creative things like raw vegan pierogies, raw vegan hot dogs, chicken balls that we're gonna make tonight. And there's like curries and pies. Like there's so much in this book. And plus you're getting my brand new party food ebook, which has 50 appetizers in it. So if you're interested in that, it's in the bundle. Regular price $27, but if you buy it in the bundle with the other 50 some books, it's only $50 for everything. So it's only available like this till November 1st. And the next bundle will be completely different. So if you like this bundle, grab this bundle because it will never be the same again. All bundles are different. So whenever you see a bundle, make sure you go check it out because you never know what you might like in there and you might enjoy. Yeah, definitely go grab it. The link is in the chat. It's also in my bio. You can buy it from anyone else in there too. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Yvonne is saying, I recently got the DynaPro vacuum blender. It's available in Canada. Yeah, DynaPro, definitely. Cause it's all about vacuum blending. It doesn't matter which one you get. Cause I don't make any money off the BioChef. I just want people to vacuum blend because it's changed our life and we're sharing it because again, we're sharing responsible information, and we have noticed that our guts have been even happier. And I'm not saying we had digestive issues, but because we were blending a lot of air into our smoothies, we had extra air coming out the other end. And now that we're vacuum blending, that has dramatically decreased without changing our diet. So again, it's not the food, it's how you're blending it. So try that and see how it feels. You're so great, by the way. Beautiful inside and out. Thank you, Thriving on Plants. You're so sweet. What dehydrator do you have? We have a Excalibur 9 tray. Excalibur 9 tray. Mine is the pink one, which they discontinued, unfortunately. It's so cool. They used to have blue ones and like yellow ones and stuff, but I think they discontinued those. I have the Excalibur 9 tray, and I like the Excalibur. Or even if you get other ones, like I know the Sedona as well, I think the two things that you want to make sure that you have in a dehydrator are trays that you can pull out so you can make space in the dehydrator instead of stacking trays. Because if you have stacking trays, you're limited to the amount of space that's between each tray, which kind of sucks if you're making raw burgers or something that's really thick and then you need to dehydrate and you need space. So get something with trays that come out. And then the second thing is to make sure that the fan is on the side, not on the bottom. So I went through 3 dehydrators, 3 cheap dehydrators. They're like $30 to $60 for the cheap ones, the Sultans I think I had. And each one broke after a couple of months because, for one, they were stacking trays, so that was annoying because I couldn't put certain things in there. There just wasn't enough room. And number 2, whatever I did put on there, things would drip down into the fan and the fan was on the bottom. Whereas with the Excalibur and the Sedona, the fan is on the side. So you're not getting like pieces of food or sauce or whatever getting stuck in the fan. It's a lot easier to clean and I highly recommend it. So, can someone post the DynaPro for Canada? Yeah, if you have the DynaPro, you can also just search DynaPro and see if maybe you could get it over Amazon or what have you. What else do we got here? Thank you guys so much. No more questions, so we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna go start making the chicken balls from Enzyme's book, which is in the bundle. It's called Raw to the Core. And he's got these chicken balls that I'm gonna make. And we're also gonna make, Raw Chef Yin has like this Malaysian curry that we're gonna make to go along with the chicken balls. So we're really excited to make these. I love trying out new recipes from people because there are so many amazing creative minds out there and everything is in the bundle. So if you wanna grab the bundle, click the link here or in my bio and go head over there and grab the bundle and download everything because it's only available until November 1st. So you're gonna wanna go grab that November 1st at midnight. So if you get paid on the 1st, you can still get it. It's ending at midnight Pacific time, which is 3 a.m. Eastern on November 2nd. So you still have time to buy it if you're getting paid on November 1st or what have you. So amazing advice, thank you. Do you have low-fat recipes? The bundle is focused on low-fat recipe. The bundle is focused on 80-10-10. If there are recipes with higher fat, there is a serving size suggestion on there as well. So yeah, all the recipes in the bundle, you're good to go, right? We focus on low-fat for the most part. Again, some recipes might have a little higher fat, but then you can just eat less of that and more salad, right? So yeah, definitely a lot of low-fat recipes. In my own personal books, I have low-fat recipes, lots of no-fat recipes, and some higher-fat recipes because it's about abundance and appropriate amount of fat. So search DynaPro in Canada. The company is based in BC. Sweet, sweet. Excited to see how the curry turns out. We're excited. It's gonna be so delicious. Oh my gosh. Are all the lives available at replay? That's a great question. So for this bundle event, if you are enjoying all of these lives, if you want to support us, go to the link in the person's bio and buy the bundle. That's a great way to support the people that you learn the most from or what have you. But everyone is doing lives. And if you click the link in here in the chat or in my bio, you go to the website and there's a link for live events. The live event schedule is like, we're going live. Like there's so many lives going on all day long and we're all talking about different topics and that kind of thing. So if you do go there, you can look at past ones and click on the person. It says live on so-and-so's page. If you click on that, you can go to their page and just look at their IGTV. Most of us are saving our lives as IGTVs. So if you see one that you like that you missed, or if you see one that you like that you can't attend, you can just take note of who went live and you'll be able to go to their page and just look on their IGTV. I'm saving all of these lives and uploading them to YouTube, so you'll be able to see them over there. But yeah, basically we're trying to get everybody to save their lives so that we can all watch them again. Thank you, Lissa. You're so helpful and inspiring. You're very welcome. I bought the previous bundle. Will this bundle have those books too? No. This bundle is completely different. This is brand new content. There is nothing from the old bundle that's in this bundle. Every single bundle is its own offering. So this one is completely different from the last one, and the next one will be completely different as well with new stuff and different offerings. So each bundle is its own little unique package. So if you want this package, then click the link and go grab it, go check out what's in this one. But they are both separate, they're both different, and when you purchase one, you get what's in that bundle and not what's in the past one or the future one. So it's really what you see on the website is what you get for 50 bucks for this round. Is eating this way very satisfying? 100%, I'm mega satisfied, but I also eat enough. I eat enough. I don't undereat. I make sure that I get abundance of calories, an abundance of nutrition, and abundance of variety. If you are undereating, if you are not eating enough variety, then yeah, you're probably going to not feel satisfied because you're just not eating enough. And the body needs energy and calories and nutrition. So if you give it that, then you're gonna feel great. Like I feel so amazing. So that's how I do it. Are any of your meals cozy, like nice and warm cozy? Well, I do soups, and when I do soups, I blend it in the blender for around 1.5 minutes or so, which warms it slightly. The magic raw food temperature is 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So I do raw chilies, raw stews, raw curries. We do raw burgers. There's so many fun recipes that you can do that would be considered cozy, I guess. But also eating salads that aren't right out of the fridge. So room temperature salads, room temperature dressing, not eating things that are cold, like cold lettuce and cold tomatoes and cold cucumbers with a cold dressing. It's gonna be cold. So room temperature is where it's at. How did you all come together to make this ebook? Well, this is not just one ebook. This is 55 ebooks. And so each creator came together to put in the bundle because it's about sharing this with as many people as possible. And we're only able to do this for $50 until November 1st, at which point you'll be able to buy everyone's books, but you'll have to buy them separately. And that would cost over $3,200. So if you want to get it right now for $50, now is your chance. But we all got together and we all put them into one bundle of 55 ebooks that you can download. You can download each and every single one of the ebooks if you buy it for $50. And you get to download those and keep them on your computer. We recommend you store them on a USB stick or external drive, or put them in Dropbox or Google Drive or something to keep them safe. They're just PDFs. There's 55 files in there right now, so it's definitely worth it. That means that each book is less than $1. You're getting my party food ebook in the bundle for less than $1. You're getting the holiday ebook for less than $1. I designed the holiday ebook. Everybody gave me their recipes and we designed one book for that, and which is in the bundle. The buy now button is just circling around, not letting me purchase the bundle. Must be busy. It might be try refreshing, try coming back later. Again, it's here till November 1st. So if you're having issues, it could be internet wise, but try refreshing the page and see if that helps. You look amazingly better now, referring to your before and after pics. Thank you. Yeah, I feel better. And it's really about feeling better, because you can see the difference between the two, but you can't feel the difference between the two. And I feel amazing. Yeah, I just clicked on it. It's acting weird. I'll go to my laptop later and try. I love the bundle. So many recipes. All right, let's see. Do I have an email? So normally if there's something wrong, Sendal will send me an email saying there's something wrong, and I don't see anything right now. So it could just be internet connection. I'm not sure, but yeah, just definitely try back. I love this bundle. So many great smoothie recipes. Awesome. How do you know you're under eating? I refuse to count calories. That's the problem. We refuse to count calories because we're scared of counting calories. And counting calories isn't something to be scared of. It's a learning tool. So I had to learn how much I needed to eat, and then I could release the tool. I don't need to count my calories because I know what I need to eat every day to get enough calories, but you have to learn. It's like ignoring school because you don't want to go to school and learn. We need to learn what we're putting in our bodies, so you don't have to be scared of counting calories. Just count to see what you're putting in your body, right? Like it'd be like going to the gas station and not even knowing what you're putting into your car. Right? You're just, oh, I'm just going to put this into the car and hope it works. So we need to count. We need to look. We need to explore. We need to learn. And it's okay to learn. It's not a crutch. It's not something scary. It's not something you need to get obsessed over. It's just something to learn. It's a learning tool. And it's an amazing learning tool because you really get to learn how much food you need, right? I eat 2,400 calories a day, and I know what 2,400 calories looks like in raw food. It looks very different than cooked food. Cooked food is smaller portions for more calories. Raw food is more food for, a decent amount of calories. You have to eat a lot to be able to get enough. So don't think of it as something scary. Don't shun it. Try it and just come at it from a curiosity mindset. You're learning about your food. You're learning about what you're putting into your body. It's very important that we do this. And diet culture has scared us into not learning about what we're putting in our body. It was like, no, you can't count calories. It's bad. But we need to learn. And counting calories coming from that mindset. Remember, we were talking earlier about the mindset. If you're counting calories with a fear-based toxic mindset, then yeah, it could be obsessive and it could be triggering for some people. But you have to come at it from a loving perspective where you're coming from curiosity, you want to learn what you're putting in your body, and you can release it after you've learned. Once you've learned, you don't need to count unless you want to count and make sure you're still on track. I mean, I count for YouTube because I want to show people what my meals look like. But yeah, you don't have to do it every single day after you learn. What else we got here? I'm finally downloading most of the first bundle. Oh my gosh. Yeah, make sure you download, because if you bought the last bundle and you haven't downloaded them yet, please download them, because the download link expires after 1 year. So if you buy this bundle, make sure you download them all right away. It only takes like 10-15 minutes to download them, store them on Dropbox or Google Drive or external drive so that you always have them. And yeah, download them, because again, the link expires after 1 year. So make sure you get those. Counting calories is a big effort to me, but thank you for your replies. You're welcome. It doesn't have to be a big effort. You can use an app like Chronometer. It's easy to just enter in what you ate. It only takes me maybe 5 minutes for the day, just entering kind of cups of lettuce or 2 tomatoes. It's a rough estimate as well. It's not meant to be exact, perfect, 100%. It's just a learning tool. That's all it is. For example, what would 2,500 calories look like as a raw foodist? I have over 100 what I eat in a day videos on my YouTube channel. So I would recommend going there and checking out what I eat so you can see what it looks like. It's on my YouTube channel. Lissa's Raw Food Romance. So go check that out. Again, it's a playlist of what I eat in a day, and I'll be adding more as the years go on and that kind of thing. But 2,400 calories for me looks like about an 800 calorie smoothie in the morning, about 400 calories worth of fruit as snacks between breakfast and lunch, like maybe a couple bananas, some apples, maybe some grapes or what have you. And then I have like a 700 or so calorie salad. Again, these numbers are average. It depends on what's in it, but this is basically what I do. And then another 600 or 700 calorie salad for dinner. So that's roughly what it is. But if you want to see more like what it looks like as food, go to my YouTube channel and look for the playlist, What I Eat in a Day as a Raw Vegan. So you'll be able to see different amounts of what the food is, and along my journey as well, because I did eat a little less while I was losing weight. I was eating 2,100 to 2,300 calories a day. Now I eat around 2,400 calories a day. So, and I'm sure as I get older, I might go back down to the 2,100 calories. It really depends on my activity level and my metabolism, my muscle mass. Like as I grow muscle, I might need more calories. So it really depends. But yeah, you can go check out that. How did you know 2,400 was good for you? That's a great question. I knew that 2,400 calories was good for me because I was losing weight at 2,100 to 2,300 on low fat. The key is low fat. And once I got to my goal weight, I increased it. I ate 2,400 calories and I felt that that was the best. I had the most energy at that level. I was maintaining my weight at that level. And again, we're gonna fluctuate weight as well. So you're gonna need to watch that as you know, it doesn't matter. It's natural to fluctuate in weight. So it's not about weight, but it's about how you feel. If you are hungry, it means you're not eating enough. If you're craving, it means you're not eating enough. Cravings are just a sign that your body needs more calories. So give it some fruit, make a smoothie, go have a salad, that kind of thing to fuel up so that you can sustain your energy. Why raw? Do you think you will be eating this way forever? Right now, as it stands, I think I'll be eating this way forever because I feel my best doing it. Why raw? Because I love it. It makes the most sense to me, and it's just what I choose. It's my new reality. I love eating raw food, and I love to be creative with raw food. I feel the most hydrated on raw food because cooked food is dehydrated to an extent. I mean, some stuff is more dehydrated than others, like bread, and crackers and stuff, those are fully dehydrated foods. So they're going to dehydrate your body. Your body's going to need to pull water to digest them. Whereas with fresh food, it comes with the water and it's more hydrating for the body. It's better for the skin and all that jazz. So I personally feel like I'll be eating this way forever, as long as I can see, and I will always adjust based on how I'm feeling, but I'm feeling great right now, and I've felt great for the last 7 years, and it feels like it's getting better as I go on. So I don't foresee myself changing at any time. I focus on variety. Variety is key, and it works the best, so for me. Anyways, do you have a favorite smoothie at the moment? I had mentioned it earlier. It's like a mix of passion fruit, mango, pineapple, strawberry, raspberry, coconut water, and lemon juice and dates. That is an amazing smoothie that I love, but I also really like the chocolate. Nate makes a chocolate cherry one, where it's like bananas, dates, a little maple syrup, cacao powder, and cherries, frozen cherries. Sometimes he'll add strawberries in there too. So that's another good one that I really like as well. But it changes, again, it changes all the time. Once you go raw, it's hard to go back. Enzyme in the house. I'm making your chicken balls tonight, Enzyme. Go check out Enzyme 333. Daniel, he's got an amazing book in the bundle. It's called Raw to the Core. He's awesome. He's super mega creative. So go over to his page, check out his stuff, buy the bundle. You can buy it from his link if you want. But yeah, his stuff is awesome. He says it's all about learning to smash it in the kitchen. This is why the bundle rocks. You're so true. I'm about to buy the bundle. I'm super excited about it. Raw vegan for 33 days now. Congratulations. That's awesome. You're going to find some gems in this bundle. This bundle has some epic recipes, like just mind blowing, the creation that came into this bundle. So good. Enzyme, I'm eating a lot of duckweed at the moment. Awesome. That's the good B12. If you want to do plant source B12, that's awesome. Where are you finding duckweed? Interesting. Craving the chicken balls at the moment. Hey, Daniel, do you have the, I haven't looked the whole way through, but do you have the pineapple sweet and sour sauce for those chicken balls in the book? I have to look and see, but I want to make a sweet and sour sauce to go with that. And I'm also making Raw Chef Yin's Malaysian curry from her book, the Raw Food Asia or whatever, Asian Raw Food. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited for dinner. My husband doesn't understand how people like passion fruit. Passion fruit is a pretty intense fruit, that's for sure. I feel it's best in smoothies or drizzled over a melon. Watermelon is pretty good. I'm not a big watermelon fan. I know a lot of people love watermelon, but I like cantaloupe and honeydew better, but it is really good on melons. But we've been putting it in our smoothies. It's like bomb in our smoothies, so good. Enzyme says, I'm supposed to, I'll check and get back to you. Who inspires you? Oh my gosh, everyone inspires me. Absolutely everyone. Even all of you inspire me. I find inspiration everywhere. I don't have one person that I follow as like a guru or whatever, because we are all here to inspire each other. Everybody has something amazing that they can share. Maybe it's an inspiration to get in the kitchen to create. Maybe it's an inspiration to go outside and go for a walk. All of us have an inspiration to share with each other. But when it comes to who inspires me, you can go to the link down here or the link in my bio and you can see all the people that inspire me. All the people who are part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle all inspire me in some way. And I'm grateful for all of them for being part of the bundle and for contributing their books. Please go give them follows. You can see all their Instagrams on the website, so you can give them follows, give them some love, share the love, get inspired by them. It's just an amazing collaboration. We've all got together and there's over 55 ebooks in the bundle, so you're gonna want to go grab that. What's your favorite? Fun with Asian Raw Food 3. Yeah, that's Chef Yin's book, but that's the one that I'm going to be making the curry out of. What's your favorite with cucumber? We like to spiralize cucumber and use it as like a base or add it to salads. That's what we love to do with cucumber the most. I've never had passion fruit on melon. Yeah, it's really good. You should try it. Thanks to you two, I have been walking way more and I feel so much better with that. See, we inspire each other. Whenever Nate and I go for a walk for our 75 hard, I haven't been doing it lately because we've been so busy. So I haven't had my phone with me or whatever, but yeah, just like taking a picture of us walking inspires someone else to walk. And same with you. If you take a picture of yourself walking, you might inspire some of your friends to walk. If you take a picture of your salad and you tag us or whatever, then we can all inspire each other to eat more healthy foods, to go to bed earlier, to exercise, and to do the things that we know we should all be doing, right? You inspire me. I'm about to go to Vegas. Any good raw vegan eats there? Whoa, yes, Vegas. I love it here so much. There is a vegan restaurant called Veg Nation, and they have raw tacos. It's like the Pamela Anderson raw tacos, and there is a salad on there. I can't remember the name of it, but they can make it raw. The dressing is actually raw. So you could go there and grab that. But aside from that, there really isn't a lot for raw food. You can call ahead. I know True Food Kitchen said that if we called ahead, they would be more than willing to make something raw for us from the menu, make sure that it's oil-free and works with our lifestyle. So they would do that, but you have to call ahead. Yeah, other than that, there was a Go Vegan cafe that was here for a long time, but they just closed about 4 months ago or 5 months, like right before we came to Vegas, they closed. Oh, but yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully one day they open up again, but yeah, hope you have fun here in Vegas. I don't see potatoes in your salads, too much carbs. That's a good one. I personally don't eat potatoes because I don't eat cooked food. So you have to cook potatoes. But I don't care for potatoes anymore. I used to be like, I used to eat too many potatoes and not enough of anything else. It was like all potatoes. So I choose not to have potatoes because they're just something that they're not necessary in my lifestyle. I would rather eat greens and other vegetables and fresh stuff than to cook potatoes. Plus they're drying on my body, especially if they're baked, like you're baking out the water. So the body has to find water to help digest it, all that, whatever. And I'm not saying potatoes are bad. Obviously they're a plant food, they're vegan, they're fine. But I don't feel my best eating potatoes. I haven't had potatoes in 7 years. I have had raw sweet potato spiralized in a salad, not cooked, a couple times, not very often, but I have done that. I've also cubed yams and put them in the freezer and then added them to a raw room temperature stew kind of thing, or marinated them in the dehydrator. But again, that happens so rare. It's like a couple times a year if I do that. But I don't do potatoes. And the thing is, with the potatoes, it's not about the carbs, because I eat all carbs pretty much. I eat a crazy amount of carbs. I think on average, I'm eating like between 500 and 700 grams of carbs a day. I eat fruit in the morning. I like lots of it. We're talking like 800 calories of fruit in the morning. I eat 300 or 400 calories of fruit as snacks. I eat fruit in my dressings. Every plant food is a carb. It's technically considered a carbohydrate. Now, there's different kinds of carbohydrates, obviously, because potatoes are high in starch, which is a different kind of a carbohydrate. And it's digested differently. Not saying it's a bad thing, but I just don't use them. And it's not because there's too many carbs, because I eat a lot of carbs. My 80% or more, sometimes 90% of my diet comes from carbs, but it's from fruit and greens. How is raw sweet potato? It's okay. That's why I don't eat it a lot, because it's not like a cooked sweet potato. I would probably only want to eat sweet potatoes, and I would eat less of all the other varieties. So it's just not really part of my diet. But again, like I will have it once in a while here or there. I'll like spiralize it, but it's really starchy. So yeah. Is the bundle all raw? 100%. All raw. This is the only bundle that's all raw. I am part of another bundle. It's called the plant-based bundle, and they do them like once or twice a year as well, but those are cooked vegan recipes, and I'm probably gonna put my burger book in the next plant-based bundle. But this bundle is specifically all raw. We all came together and it's all raw. Everything in there is raw. You don't have to worry about anything needing to be cooked. It's all raw. All new. Everything is brand new. I can guarantee you that you don't have any of the ebooks that are in there because they're brand new. And yeah, all yours for $50. So head on to the link here in the chat or the link in my bio. Go check out all the other lives that are happening. There's tons of lives, and we've been on here for almost 2 hours. I love talking to you guys so much, but I do need to go and make Enzymes chicken balls, raw vegan chicken balls, not cooked, believe it or not, not cooked, and Raw Chef Yin's Malaysian curry. So we're gonna be doing that for dinner. And it was a pleasure to talk with all of you guys. I love you so much. Thank you again for all your support. If you do want to support, go grab the bundle and check out all the other lives, because we're going to be doing a lot of lives. I've got lives coming up. You can check out also in my stories, because every day I'll share my lives for the next day as well. So thank you guys again for joining. I love hanging out with you. And until the next one, mwah, fruit on.